So, Glenn, what do you make of what seems to be in the news today about Fort Knox? There's kind of like several stories I saw over the past 24 hours talking about how Donald Trump has decided, this is maybe not the right thing to focus on, or maybe he's not concerned about it. There was talk initially about maybe bringing cameras. I know you were looking at trying to bring cameras there to kind of document this for the people, making sure that we have these reserves. Is there a change in his position? Is he just delaying it? What's going on?
I don't know. I don't think he's delaying it. If the story is true, I think let's take it at face value. What the media is saying is that because he knows that the gold is there. Well, good. I'm glad the president knows the gold is there. I'm thrilled with that. Now, what he should do, instead of just saying, you know what, I'm moving on to other things, I really think he should do an office of radical transparency. And because we have to restore our trust in things. And let's just take the gold thing. I don't know if the gold is there or the gold isn't there. I have no idea. You can make a great case both ways, that the gold is there and the gold isn't there. You can make a case both ways that, that was all legitimate and they just missed a few things. But then the next one seemed to be a little more shady and harder to explain, but you can explain it and the gold is there. I don't know. I used to be much more willing to accept the official line. I'm not willing to accept that anymore. Doesn't mean I'm saying it's not there. I'm just saying I'm not going to accept that anymore. So I won't take a stand on things that I just don't know. I'm not going to give anybody in government the benefit of the doubt. So I think what he should do is, let's say the New York Times is right. See, he knew the gold was really there the whole time, and so that's why he's backing off it. Great. Then what the president should do is go to his office of radical transparency and say, hey, you know what? I don't have any time to deal with this. I want you guys to deal with this. I want you just to open up the vaults. They do this in England all the time in the Bank of London, so I don't know why we're not doing it here. Let's set it up once a year. People can go in, not people, but, cameras can go in and select people, and every year we'll take from the audience, from the American people, what are you saying that we were hiding? Okay, we'll show you that too next year. I just think radical transparency should be the MO of the day. That's why I said that about what I did about the FBI and DOJ on Epstein. I don't know. I didn't see the evidence that those guys saw. I'd like to see the evidence that those guys saw. I trust them. I believe them. But I don't believe institutions, but I do believe those guys. And if Dan Bongino says, guys, I saw the evidence, I believe him. But to make sure that the entire country heals, they need to show that. And maybe it's an office of radical transparency needs to show all of that. And just say, here it is, okay? And yes, we did go to the moon. And you know how we can prove it? And just prove it. And I know there will always be naysayers, but at least we'll get some of the people back to sanity on the things that we should believe in.
So you're creating an ORT.
Yes, ORT.
ORT, okay. We have ORT. We had a DOGE. Now we have an ORT.
Yes. I am ORT. Yeah.
So I think that's interesting because I think there is a fascinating balance that people are going through right now trying to understand this stuff, and that, obviously the left just doesn't believe anything that Donald Trump says, right? So they're going to be skeptical of anything that they say. But when it comes to someone, who might be a Trump voter, who looks at this and says, I listen to Dan Bongino's podcast every day and is a big fan of him and Pete Hegseth and all these people he's put in control, when they tell me these things, do I just believe them? Or, is it a waste of time for them to come out and sort of reprove things that they say are actually true, just so that we can all where his side might, his side might agree, right? But there's going to still be lots of skeptics. I don't know. A lot of these types of theories don't tend to get tamped down by more evidence. So it's a waste of time for these guys.
So you're never going to... No, because I think we have to make the effort. Whether you choose to believe it or not, you have to make the effort. And, I choose to believe Dan Bongino. I choose to believe Kash Patel because I know them. I choose to believe President Trump. I know him. I just don't think they are. It's part of them in any way, shape, or form to lie to the American people. It's just not in their character, so I believe them. But one of the things that is a big problem is trust. We have no trust in any institution in this country anymore. We have to do the thing. You remember what was Hope and Change all about? Remember? Transparency. We're not going to do backroom deals anymore. You're going to read every single book. None of that came true. But in 2008, people were saying, I want some change here because there's no transparency. You think that's gotten better? No. So radical transparency is required.
Yeah. I think that's a good goal. I mean, you think too, something like, like the Fort Knox show, if you will, right? Where you're going and you're saying, hey, everybody, here's our gold. We swear we have it. Doing that once a year or once every 2 years, whatever it is, could easily be slid into something like the Big Beautiful Bill at a very low cost. Obviously, it's not a high,
very low cost.
It's not like it's going to cost you a lot to do that. And maybe does push back one of these theories a little bit, right? Like you're never going to get rid of everybody who believes these things.
I would do this for free. You know how many people would do this for free?
Yeah.
And I would put together a group of people on all sides. It can't be about politics. It just has to be about the truth. I don't care what your politics. I don't care who's harmed by it. I don't care we have to do a special favor to this or that. We're just going to show the truth. That's all we're going to do. We're not going to show you our opinion. We're going to show you the facts as we find them. Here, there are the vaults. There are the rooms. This is where it should all be. There it is. Can you test one? Somebody come over here, pull a random brick, 3 bricks back, 2 bricks back, whatever. Don't tell me, just pull 3 random bricks for this pile. And then do it in this one. And then do it in the next room. And let the chips fall where they may. That's the only way to cure what we have going on, I think.
Yeah, and I don't think, and I know you noted this, but I don't think it cures it, right? I think there will always be people who are skeptical of these things, and under
10%.
But yeah,
yes.
I think of all the things that we've had on film, and not to mention with the rise of AI, whether anyone would even believe these videos as they came out. But you can take steps to make sure that people who want the truth can try to find it. And that is, I think that would be a helpful step. I am a little concerned if they spend too much time trying to track down every theory that's on the internet and trying to disprove it. Like that's not, I don't know.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying there are some big things that are important. The gold is important. The moonshot, believe it or not, is important. Do we have any faith in the moonshot anymore? I mean, I remember that was at 7%. That's what I expect. I expect 7 to 8% of the American people are just not going to believe whatever, is out there. They're just going to have a different, there's flat earthers. But when flat earthers become 20%, 18%, that's a problem. That's a problem. You're never going to get rid of all the flat earthers, but you should be able to answer some easy questions. And it's not just by showing people the facts. The government has to move in a transparent way. The DOJ, the United States Senate, and the Congress, they need to find ways to act in a transparent way. I got to ask my architect friend who, I've designed several buildings with him, and he did something for me years ago, and we've never published it. I'll send it out today. I said, redesign the Capitol today for maximum transparency. And so we redesigned the Capitol, and the whole front of it is glass. And so, it just reminds everybody you can see everything. There is no dark places to hide here. And that's the attitude that needs to happen. I mean, I didn't plan on redesigning the Capitol. I just wanted it for a point. And it turned out to be a beautiful, beautiful architectural drawing of it. And I'll send it to you because it's beautiful. But that's the attitude. The entire government needs to go, I can't hide anything. There's no way to hide things. No way.
Hitler redesigned a lot of buildings in his capital as well. I just want to point that out to the audience. No, I think walk me through how this works in the age of AI, though. Because I was watching a video the other day of a kangaroo trying to get onto a plane, and he was holding a ticket, and a lot.
Was it real?
Well, shockingly, it was not. And my thought initially was, this is obviously AI. There's not really such thing as a it's not like the dogs that you bring on to soothe yourself, the personal support dogs. Kangaroos not really in that category. But it would be an interesting flight. However, that was my initial reaction, was like, obviously this can't be real. It looked real. It looked very real. I will say almost every comment under the video was commenting on, this is crazy. Can you believe this person trying to bring a kangaroo onto a plane? Like, seemingly taking it seriously. Now, the crazy part about this is I don't know how many of those people were bots. So I don't even know if those people were real that had the questions about the thing. But how do you navigate that in the world that is coming?
Okay, easy. Stop getting your news from social media. Stop it. The man who reads nothing at all is better educated than the man who reads nothing but social media. So many people are they're getting all of their news from social media. Stop getting your news from social media. You can start there and look at some of the things, but then you have to pursue it. You have to read the stories. You have to do research yourself. You cannot be spoon-fed this stuff anymore, or you're going to be a moron. Absolute morons. You cannot get your news from social media, period. It's that easy. It's that easy.
But that's like a full-time job to check all that stuff out. I don't know that it's that easy. I
know, and that's where, you've got to find some trusted sources. We have to do a better job. I mean, Stu, the project I'm working on, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and more expensive. I'm really going to need your help here. I'll explain here in the next few months. But one of the things that we have to develop, that is now on the list of things we have to develop, is a way to be able to put a tool in the hands of the average person. Is this AI? Is this a real video, or is this a AI generated video? You're not going to be able to catch all of them, but there's got to be a way that the algorithms can, spot a fake.
I do wonder.
And it's going to get better and better, but we have to have some tools that, other than just our gut going, yeah, you know what? That seems crazy, a kangaroo. I don't know. Should I check that out? Or should I just be outraged? We need more than that.
I will say, because short term, I think we have that type of stuff. For example, one of the posts under it, and this is available whenever you're on Twitter, is you can just there's a Grok button there, and you can kind of engage Grok on any individual post. And you can ask questions about it. Someone did that and asked, is this an AI video? And Grok correctly said it was. So that's there
perfect.
At least now.
Good. Off my plate.
Yeah, right.
Good.
It's at least there now. But I mean, as you point out, this is not a technology that's going to get worse. And it's going to get much better. Maybe the detection also gets better. And this is just a big standoff over a long period of time. But it's going to get hard for normal people.
One of the things that Grok has going for it, I think it's Grok, it is all open source. So you can check the algorithm. I mean, if you know what you're doing. If you're not open source and you're not showing these things, again, that's not radical transparency, because people will go, I mean, do you trust Grok? Do you trust AI? Do you trust Elon Musk? Do you trust, ChatGPT? You trust any of this stuff? Because I don't. I have more trust in Elon Musk and X than anything else, because I've seen the hits that he's taken just to be transparent and truthful. But we need to be able to grow trust in one another again.